And then now I'm going to hand it over to Cindy, and she's going to talk a little bit about some of the astronomy.
Hello, everybody. How are you all today? Good. I see a lot of familiar faces. It looks like we have an astro mapping table over here. Hello, it's nice to see y'all. This is a field that has always fascinated me. Tamira and I like to refer to it as 3D astrology because it's not just looking at the flat charts, only the ecliptical point of view. It is looking at the dome above our heads, the equatorial coordinate system with the celestial sphere, and the ecliptic coordinate system. It's really combining all three of them. And once you get a hang of it and you're able to like blend them all together, poof, all of the answers come and you're like, now I understand it. So when we're looking at local space, what we're doing is using a horizontal coordinate system. And with the horizontal coordinate system, we stand and our azimuth is 360 degrees in a full circle around us as far as the eye can see when the sky and the ground meet. And I'll talk to you about horizons in a little bit. And then we talk about the azimuth. So that is where, if we start at the ground and how high up that planet goes to the zenith above your head in the local space coordinate system, because in the local space, the zenith is directly above our head. If we're using the equatorial or the celestial coordinate system, it would be most likely within the Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn. If this is over your heads, don't worry. I'm just, talking to everybody here that is a little bit more familiar with time and space. And sign up for our classes at Kepler anyway. So what makes local space or compass astrology different from natal? Anybody have any guesses here? Don't be shy, I don't bite. Well, what makes it different is that this is you-centered. Just like Tamira was mentioning before, this is really the embodiment of you. We could take that circular local space chart, just put it above your head, and you get to find out where's your Jupiter oriented to, where's your moon, wherever it is according to that local space chart. Now, when we also use local space, one of the things is sometimes people get worried that you're gonna activate a planet when you really shouldn't be activating it. Sometimes that could happen, but intention really is what counts when it comes to local space. So right now, I know that I could extend my right arm out. And when I do that, it's not that my left arm goes flailing and my rest of my body goes out of control. No, because I intended only for my right arm to go out. Now, we're timing it with that magical dome above our head that is limited by the horizon. And that is going to change according to our latitude and longitude. So let me give you a comparison of the three different kinds of chart systems. So our natal chart, all of us in this room are absolutely familiar with that. And that uses the ecliptic coordinates. This first over here. And the local space chart is the one that's in black over here. And this chart is a little bit different from the rest in that it shows azimuth, but it also shows altitude. So if we could imagine that this is, the center of the chart is the zenith, any planet that's closer to it is going to be higher up in altitude. And when it's closer to the edge, it means that it is closer to the horizon. And we could look at the cardinal directions to find out where exactly on that circle that it's going to be. And that is according to your local space. And we could look at things like which is the highest planet in the sky, which is the lowest. Because according to the ancients, the horizon was very important. The first thing that was the most important was what was rising. It's the easterly horizon. What is coming your way? The zenith or the mid-heaven, because we're not always going to get the zenith with the planets because we're at the ecliptic system in that 23.5 degrees. I'll show a couple of slides about that difference. is the planet that reaches the highest point in the sky is also very important. Why? Think about it. If you ever got lost in a big city and there's no one to ask directions, or you don't know how to speak the language, all you have to do is look at where the tallest building is. And you could use that as a landmark. In other words, that's why they say the midheaven, or the highest planet, the chart's highest planet in the sky in the local space is your beckoning in many ways. It's your soul's path, and it could lead you to it. Everybody sees it. There's not going to be many things obstructing it, if anything at all. And the last part, this last chart on the very far end, is what we could call either compass aspects or geospatial aspects. And those are different than the aspects that you would get from your ecliptic chart. So this is all the same time of birth. This happens to be my chart, by the way. And as you could see, even though we have the sun in the main chart that is very close to the midheaven here, and don't forget, we have everything that's flipped on the ecliptic versus we reckon north with the local space chart. So we have to kind of do a little bit of mental acrobats with that. So that's where we're going to see the sun. But you can actually see which planets are tightest according to cardinal directions. That was super important to the ancients. And we could also see that there's different aspects according to that limited local horizon above your head. That's a little bit of the hidden influence that Tamira was talking about, in that you might be able to see that there is more going on there than what you would think. So I'll give you a good example. I have no connection in the ecliptic chart of the major Ptolemaic aspects between Neptune and Mercury. In astromapping, we use the Ptolemaic aspects. We don't go the like semi-quincunx and decile or whatever. It's, we just use major things because we had to till the soil, we had to do our work. We couldn't like just stop and gather meaning. We had to gather omens with it. But in the local space chart, there is that connection between Mercury and my Neptune. Well, I happen to be born and raised in this area. This is, so it kind of speaks to the current situation. But it's funny because growing up, my father, which could be represented by the sun, and he's also a Virgo, used to say, "Why are you daydreaming? Stop daydreaming." And I'm like, "Dad, I need to daydream. I have to do this in order to get done. And, in order to generate my ideas and get these thoughts." I would have never seen this in my ecliptic chart, but I get to see it in the local space chart. You'll see things about yourself when you do the compass aspects.